4. In the previous lesson, we talked about awareness. We first talked in lesson 2, we talked about market demand. Let's say there's a market demand problem. What causes market demand problem? What can you do about it? This whole overall training is called What is Wrong with Your Marketing. So we started by lesson 1, we talked about factor number 1, which is dream customers. How many dream customers do you have? Lesson 2, we talked about market demand. How much demand is there for your product realistically within your location, okay? If the demand is there, how many people actually know about your offer? We talked about that in lesson 3. This is lesson 4. We are talking about a different scenario. Let's say people actually know about your offer. So there is no awareness problem, but they're not showing interest. They're not saying, hey, I'm interested in this thing. So what causes that? Let's analyze that. This is lesson 4. What can cause people to look at an advert or to know about your existence and still not show interest? One of the factors is maybe you are talking to the wrong people. It's like when I see an advert for equipment that is used to construct roads, I have nothing to do with that kind of business. I'm not going to show interest. Yes, I'm aware of it, but I'm the wrong person for that kind of product. Or even certain types of shoes, those super high heeled shoes like 5 inches, I don't wear those kinds of shoes. Even if I see them, I'm aware about them, I'm not interested, I'm the wrong person. So look at the people that you are talking to about your business. Are they the right people? So targeting. Another factor that could cause people to look at something and not be interested, it could be that they don't need it, okay? They don't need it, or they don't value it enough. They don't think it's worth paying for. Let's give an example of a massage parlor. There are certain parts of the country or certain parts of the world or even certain parts of where you live where a massage parlor would perform very well. Now imagine you take this massage parlor to my village. My village is Chiwombo, okay? You take a massage parlor there. People would be aware of it. Yes, people, they need the massage. Do you think they value it enough to pay for it? So you'll have to look at your product. The people who you are telling about it, do they value it enough? Maybe they need it, they could need it, but do they value it enough to pay for it? You need to analyze that. Another issue that could cause people to be aware but still not show interest is trust problems. Trust problems especially tend to affect people in service businesses and in consultancy businesses. You say, for example, okay, let's say you don't know me. You've just met me for the first time. I'm advertising consultancy. I say, come to me, come and pay me 1,000 or 2,000. I'm going to help you with your sales and marketing. You're going to look at me and say, who is this person? You don't know me. You have zero trust in me. I have not earned your trust. So you might see that advert, but you're not going to show interest because you're skeptical, okay? There's a trust issue happening there. Sometimes what causes people not to show interest is because the message you are sending to them is confusing. They don't understand what your product does. Maybe they need it. You understand it. Sometimes when you know something so well, you work with it so often, you take it for granted that other people know as well. But most of the time they don't. They don't know how it works. They don't know how it can benefit them. It could be your message is unclear or it is confusing. So they might look at something and think, that looks interesting. What is that thing? You're not there to answer the questions. You might not be there. It could be an advert you've put in the paper or on social media. They may not take the time to ask you. But because the message is confusing, they'll appear like they don't show interest. So it means your marketing needs to be fixed. Sometimes what causes people not to show interest is what I can refer to as weak copy. What is weak copy? Weak copy comes from the mentality of feeling shy to sell. Instead of asking people to buy, you just talk about your product without asking. Let me give an example. There's this example people like, it's like a joke they use. They say, guys who don't have the courage to ask out a girl, they easily go in the friend zone. Those guys, they are around this girl they like. They don't get to ask and say, I want to go out with you, but they're just being nice. Sometimes people do that in sales. You're just being nice to people. You are not asking. You have weak copy. You have to make a request to say, buy this thing, take this action. So there needs to be some courage there, okay? Weak copy. What are the solutions to these challenges where people see your advert but they're not responding? Number one, define your audience very well and know where you can find them. Who are these people who need the product, want the product, they value it enough to pay for it, they can also afford it. Talk to the right people. That's number one. When you are advertising, use clear messages, use simple language. In this book, 7 Steps to Better Sales Results, there's a chapter about advertising, your message. There are certain words that advertisers, seasoned advertisers, they know that every advert needs to contain certain words that describe the benefit of what you're offering. When you put these in your advert, it becomes clear what is the benefit of buying that product or that service. Let me just read for you some examples, like actual words you can put in your advertising copy. Okay, so there's this chapter 4, says your advertising message. So in this chapter, describing some specific words that you can use in marketing. For example, the word new, the word discover, the word family, love, hate, free, how to, did you know? So these are examples of words that are good to add in your advertising message to get people to respond. So how can you use them in an actual ad? Let me give you some examples from this book. Discover, like this is an example. Let's say you're selling weight loss formula. It says, discover the new weight loss formula. So there are 2 words there. One is discover. People always everybody wants to discover something new, something they've never heard of. Also, the word new means it will make people curious. Okay, something I've never heard of, something new, maybe this will work. So you've used words that are going to help people to respond. We are talking about this factor where people know about something, they're not responding. Get them to respond by using the right words in your advertising. Another one can be protect your family from harmful bacteria. There's the word there, protect. There's the word family. These are things that minor changes you can make in your advertising message to make it more responsive. Another thing you can do is learn copywriting. Copywriting is defined as salesmanship in writing. It's like instead of going to someone and talking to them, trying to convince them to buy, you use words. So this is a very important skill. If you use any kind of advertising, if you've ever put out so many advertising messages and you've got poor response, one of the most important reasons for that could be the copy. You might need to work on your copywriting. Copy needs to be specific. Let me give another example, okay? Compare these 2 examples. One says how to have a better business. Let's say you're a business consultant and you are trying to advertise your business consultancy services. So you put your advert, how to have a better business. Okay, that's one example. The other one says how to double sales in 6 months. You can see that one is very general and it's kind of weak. How to have a better sale, how to have a better business. How does this person actually help? Does it mean they'll help me with funding? Will they help me with sales? Will they help me with leadership? Like, which area of business? It's not specific. So the more specific your copy is, the better response you're going to get from your advertising messages. Okay, in conclusion, we are looking at factor number 4. When you advertise and there's poor response. We've looked at the possibility that you could be talking to the wrong people. We've looked at the possibility that the messaging that you are using to advertise is either unclear or it's confusing. So the solutions to those are simple. You need to talk to the right people and you need to improve on the type of advertising messages that you put out there. Okay, so this is the end of the lesson. I'd like to thank you for taking time to listen to it. I'm going to ask for a favor. Please share this video with someone who you think can benefit, someone who's running a business. They're trying to improve their sales and marketing efforts. They're trying to increase their sales in their business. Okay, so in the next lesson, we're going to look at factor number 5. How does this factor come up? We were talking about you advertise and people are not responding. What if you have a different scenario where people are responding? For example, they are calling to find out about the price. Where are you located? How can I buy this thing? That's it. They're not buying. So if you have that kind of scenario, you have what we call a conversion problem. So that is what we are going to look at in the next lesson.